Tonight's big story, 73% of Filipinos expect to have a happy Christmas this year. A jump from last year, but still lower than what was recorded before the pandemic.
At least 70 people were killed in Gaza hours before midnight tolled for Christmas in the Holy Land. Pope Francis has since lamented that Jesus' message of peace was being drowned out by war in the very land where he was born.
And it's MMFF season once again. We have a chat with Cedrick Juan, star of one of the MMFF's highly anticipated film entries, GOMBURZA. Welcome to the show. I'm Ed Lingao.
And I'm Danny Laurel. Merry Christmas! How was your Christmas? Well, we're here in the newsroom, so hindi pa tapos.
I'd assume my Christmas was better than yours. I think
really?
you were here as early as, early this morning.
Yeah, exactly. And I also did Christmas Eve broadcast. Nag-broadcast ka ba kahapon?
No,
okay, there.
So my
I've
Christmas
been
is a lot
here.
looser than yours.
Exactly. But I did enjoy Noche Buena until 3 a.m. Last night. And I also came from Hong Kong visiting my kids before Christmas. Na-stuck ako sa traffic for 3 hours for 1 kilometer getting out of NAIA.
1 kilometer?
1 kilometer stretch ng NAIA Terminal 3.
That's terrible.
Just to get out of the
Terminal
airport.
3?
Yeah, that's how many people were flying in on the December 23rd. So, public service announcement.
Oh.
Not a great idea, pero grabe. Ang dami nating kababayan na umuwi
I
for
wonder
the
if it's still
holidays.
the same today and tomorrow.
I think less, definitely less, because we were looking at PTEX also, di ba? Parang the amount of people traveling today, much less than the 23rd. It was also falling on a Saturday, so siguro they did an early check to their hometowns.
Kaya ako, as much as possible, do not travel before Christmas. You travel after Christmas.
Is that still loose or ganun din?
It's a lot better.
Oo, kasi
It's a lot
back
better.
to work na yung mga tao.
Yeah, a lot of people are off the Christmas, the Christmas psychology anymore, and they don't want to rush to places anymore. They just rather stay at home and sleep, which is better. But
Exactly.
most Filipinos also expect to have a Merry Christmas this year, at least according to a social weather station survey. That survey showed that 73% or 7 out of 10 of the respondents expect a happy Christmas this year. This is a notable increase from 50% at the peak of the coronavirus pandemic in 2020. However, it is lower compared to the 79%, almost 8 out of 10, who expected a happy Christmas during the pre-pandemic days. The same survey also revealed which things Filipinos are most grateful for this year. 51% of Filipinos are thankful for their health as COVID-19 restrictions ease. 29% said they are thankful for their family, while 16% are grateful to simply be alive. 10% said they are most thankful for their careers or their income. This survey had 300 respondents and was conducted from December 8 to December 11.
So very interestingly, the priorities have changed. It's really more centered on health. Living well this year instead of gifts. I don't know if you felt it, pero parang less giving of gifts or shopping, or hindi pa ba?
I tend to ignore Christmas gift giving.
Yeah, exactly. So parang this year,
So, yung mga
this
inaanak ko,
year
parang, asan si Linggaw? Dead na lang
that's
ako.
not true. I remember you gave me a mug na may Danny.
I haven't done my mug assignment
no.
this year because I
Okay.
was busy with the documentary and
Okay.
West Philippine Sea.
Bigger issues than the one you smug.
Yeah, we were all traveling in the high seas.
That's true.
I
That's
should have
true.
brought my mugs there and done my work there.
But of course, despite the fact that we're grateful to be here and grateful to be post-pandemic, a lot of Filipinos are still feeling the pinch of especially the food prices.
I'd imagine before the pandemic, I suppose a big chunk of people would have considered their priority to be the economy and prices of goods.
Yeah.
Versus this year, it was 51% grateful for good health.
Exactly, just being alive,
Oh.
just being here. Meron pa rin yung
That's a big shift.
happy na may trabaho pa rin, so like 10% or something like that, double digits. We're looking at that. And even, a lot of people, I feel, are using this opportunity not to spend, but to enjoy life. I think more people are traveling, siguro. More are
How can you not spend if you're traveling?
well, spend on experiences, not
If
on
you're like me, maybe you do that.
material things. And to make their Christmas even merrier, we actually have some of our kapatids in the network traveling all the way from their provinces to visit these famous sites in Metro Manila. I don't know if you ever did that when you were young, but I used to go to Star City in Pasay and line up way before. I mean, now I didn't know it's
Star
still
City in
a
Pasay?
thing. Yeah, it's still a thing. Akala
Is
ko,
Star City still working? Di ba nasunog yan after a
well,
while?
hear it from Shyla Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Shyla,
There.
you were there. Tell us what it was like.
Dani, ramdam na ramdam ang Pasko dito sa Star City sa dami ng tao. People are lining up from outside and inside the theme park. There are also long lines in every ride, and for many, going to fun destinations like this is their way of distressing this Christmas. Since this morning, many families headed to Luneta Park to have picnics. Some of these visitors included members of Jenilyn's family who slept right here in Luneta last night. Some of them traveled all the way from Samar as they wanted to spend Christmas Eve in the park. But as it turned out, it was not open for the night. Instead of heading back home, they chose to stay and sleep in the vicinity until 5 in the morning.
Yung pamangkin ko po, lumuwas sa Maynila, gustong-gusto makita si Rizal po kasi idol niya po si Rizal. Sakala namin, open po yung Luneta, hindi po pala open. Kaya nagpalipas na lang po kami kaysa umuwi pa po kami ng Bigutan po. Masaya pa rin naman po kasi marami naman po kami, hindi lang naman po kami. Marami po kami mga pamilya po na nandun sa labas po.
Like Jenilyn's family, many others chose to spend Christmas Eve in Luneta, be it for first time or for tradition. The space is wide enough for different activities like playing badminton, playing games, taking photos, or simply just for resting and bonding. The famous fountain show with matching lights and sounds was also something the visitors looked forward to. The best thing about it is there is no entrance fee.
Mas maliwalas siya at presko, tsaka marami kang makikitang pwede mong pasyalan. Dito kasi libre po, tsaka press pa yung yung airball masagap mo. Tsaka yung gusto namin na pag maglalaro yung mga bata.
Dito, medyo naman kasi dito pag dito kami, medyo nakakatanggal din ng stress. Kagaya nito, walang kaming pera, walang trabaho. Dito na lang ang punta namin.
Some families, meanwhile, who wanted some more thrill and adventure in their Christmas getaway, headed towards the Star City. Pero sa entrance pa lang, mahaba na ang pila. From buying the tickets and getting on the rides, visitors will have to endure long lines. We got a chance to interview one of the families who came all the way from Aklan.
Mas gusto nung anak ko na medyo extreme.
Kaya ba kinakaya niyo yung mga extreme rides?
Sinasakyan ko lang sila para mag-enjoy.
Siyempre, papahuli ba tayo sa rides? Isa ito sa pinakakinatatakutang rides dito sa Star City, mapabata man o matanda. Dito, halos 3 minuto ka paiikutin sa ere. Yung kaligtasan, sigurado ka naman dahil sobrang higpit ng handbar. Pero yung tapang ko, hindi ko sigurado kung tatagal ng 3 minuto! Pataas ng pataas ang pag-ikot na tila mahihilo ka. Hindi ko na kaya! Oh my God! Nakakaloka! Bakit ko ito pinasok? Oh my God! Maya-maya pa. Grabe ate. Oh my God. Okay na. Sila na itong magre-report eh. At matapos ang ride, ayan, so confirmed, nawala yung tapang ko. Marami rin nagmatapang na sumubok sa mga extreme rides tulad ng Star Flyer or roller coaster, surf dance, and jungle splash.
Masaya po. Nakaka-excite po, nanginginig po nga po ako, Diyos ko. I feel wet.
For those who still want to experience Christmas here in Star City, the park is open until 1 a.m. The Star Pass costs around 699 pesos, and with that, you can enjoy all the rides except Snow World. And from the lines and how much the tickets cost, it seems like it is indeed a happy Christmas for most Pinoys this year. Danny?
Okay, Shyla, I will just live vicariously through you. Hindi ko gagawin yon for myself. Thank you for that update and that report.
Alam mo, si Shyla pala, mestiza.
Oh, bakit?
Hindi, namumutla lang pala, hindi pala mestiza.
Hindi ko kaya yon. That's not in my job description. Alright, what is Christmas in the Philippines without caroling and aguinaldo? Pero sabi nga, dahil na rin sa inflation and signs of the times, how much do people receive and what gifts do they get for themselves nowadays? We have Brian Castillo with the story.
Early in the day, the Christmas spirit can already be felt in the streets of Barangay Baritan, Malabon City. With the crowd, you would think there's a fiesta in the area because the residents have come out. Together, they go from house to house to go caroling. It's like a mini fashion show because kids are there with their new and stylish OOTDs. One of those who dress up is Uying, who is planning to use his pamasko to save up to buy, hold your horses, a brand new cell phone.
Ano bibili ako ng iPhone. iPhone 7.
Meanwhile, this fish sauce factory is also stealing the scene. While they continue their livelihood this Christmas, the influx of people receiving gifts has been non-stop. It's a tradition, they say, for the factory to distribute Christmas presents to everyone, young or old. According to the residents, this is how Christmas is celebrated on their streets. Just how much do they get nowadays?
40 pesos sa isang pila. Pero okay naman po, masaya naman. Nakakatulong naman yun. Kailangan po eh. Wala sila mga pera ngayon, walang mga pangkain.
This group of friends also joined the line. That's because they have yet to track down their missing in action godparents.
Yung mga ninong mo ba nakikita mo?
Di na, nagtago siya. Mga ninong, magsilabas kayo na nga, mga naman.
Gara po ng mga ninong at ninang ko eh. Ang dahil na pong ninong wala po sa bahay nila eh.
Christmas is not just about giving gifts. It can also be about spreading joy and entertainment to others in simple ways. Like this delivery rider who, while working, managed to channel his inner Spider-Man to bring more happiness to the delivery for the customers.
Dumami nga po yung regular customer ko, tsaka yung mga restaurant owners. Kasi natutuwa sila. Ang mission ko po talaga, kaya nagganto ako, magpasaya. Kaya kung papalarin, makatulong sa mga street children, tsaka homeless senior sa kalsada.
From caroling to giving gifts, Filipinos have their own ways. But beyond the value of the Christmas presents, it's heartwarming to know that someone remembered you, which is the true spirit of Christmas. For News 5, Brian Castillo, we are One News.
Grabe yung panawagan ng bata. Ninong, magpakita na kayo.
May ganun pala. You
Oo.
actually drive down to the ninong and ninang's houses.
Yeah,
pag
yeah,
Christmas Eve.
that was how it was
That's the
before.
thing, yeah.
Well,
Until today.
ang kwento nila.
Oo.
Pero talaga, kasi ngayon nagtatago yung mga ninong at ninang eh.
Of course, ako
Yeah.
din. Inflation.
Para mga
Love.
pugante. Diba? So, kailangan mo ng confidential funds. What's more exciting, seeing your family members during Christmas or the food that will be served on the dinner table? Well, due to our Filipino inclination to prepare extra food in anticipation of unexpected guests, it is likely that a significant portion of these dishes will remain unconsumed after Noche Buena. But thanks to our resourcefulness, these leftovers will be savored down to the last bite, even if it means enjoying it over the course of several days. But what are exactly some of the best Noche Buena leftovers? Talagang tira-tira pinag-usapan natin eh. When it comes to
Save
their
your food.
afterlives. Well, according to an article by the Inquirer, the top food would be lechon. Why? 2 words.
Of course, paksiw.
Paksiw! Lagyan mo ng suka. Okay. Other food items include fruit salad, buko pandan, and mango graham. Pati pala yun. So it's ham.
Recycle.
Ham yun. Ham yun. I
Ham,
can imagine
matagal
that.
pa yan.
Yeah. Ensaymada and queso de bola. Macaroni salad and pasta are also in the list. And the lowest in their tier belongs to fruitcake.
That nobody wants to eat.
But everybody keeps on giving it.
I know. Tradition lang yan. But nevertheless, what did you have? What was your favorite food for Noche Buena? Did you have any of the above? Or
Well, ano?
healthy ba ngayong salad na lang yung kinakain?
Hindi, do I look healthy? Not healthy living.
I'm healthy.
My mom kasi magaling nanay ko sa ganyan eh. Pag Noche Buena, papakainin niya kami. Ma'am, masarap ng ano yung kinain namin? Last year pa yan, nasa freezer lang.
Pwede ba yun?
Oo.
One
Ganun ang nanay
year.
ko. Magaling nanay ko sa ganun.
Actually, resourceful talaga
Oo.
yun. Which is what we should say pala.
Oo.
Freeze your
Yung
food.
sasabi ng pangat, yung pangat kasi pangatlong init na, pang-apat na init na. Nanay ko,
naman.
pangli.
Panglima.
Panglima, oo. Yan nanay ko.
Exactly. Especially queso de bola, di ba? Yun yung point. It was actually,
Yeah.
I think, Dutch cheese, di ba? From Netherlands na preserved.
So you have wax all over.
imported all of the cheese na ayaw daw
When
nila.
I was younger, I was wondering, bakit
Red.
kulay pula?
Yeah.
Oh, so kinain ko yung pula. Wax pala siya. No?
Only in the Philippines yung may ganyan. Alright, meanwhile, we also have, of course, the President urging Filipinos to be an instrument of hope this holiday season. In his Christmas message, the President noted that the true meaning of Christmas lies in the recognition of the season as an opportunity to reach out to those who are suffering from solitude, sickness, and poverty. Marcos also reminded Filipinos to thank God for all the blessings they received this year. Meanwhile, Vice President Sara Duterte emphasized the spirit of love and the celebration of familial relationships and resilience.
Naway isabuhay din natin ang tunay ng diwa ng Pasko sa pamamagitan ng pag-unawa, pagkalinga at pagtulong sa kapwa. Sa pamamagitan nito, tayo ay nagsisilbing parol ng siyang nagbibigay ng sigla, kulay at liwanag sa buhay ng bawat isa tungo sa mas maunlad na bagong Pilipinas. Muli, isang maligayang Pasko po sa inyong lahat.
Huwag nating kalimutan, sa Pasko at sa abot ng ating makakaya sa iba pang mga araw, ay tulungan at damayan natin ang ating mga kapwa Pilipino na naghihirap, nagugutom, may karamdaman at nag-aagaw buhay. Ngayong Pasko, pasalamatan natin ang ating mga kababayang nagpakita ng katatagan, integridad, malasakit at pagmamahal sa bayan. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year kaninyong tanan.
Up next, the Armed Forces says it will continue military operations against armed communist groups even after the CPP-NPA declared a 2-day holiday ceasefire. The details when we return. Keep it here on One News.
Watching the big story here on One News.
The armed forces is not reciprocating the ceasefire declared by the CPP-NPA. In a statement, the Communist Party of the Philippines ordered its guerrilla forces to suspend for 2 days their offensives against the AFP and the PNP all over the country a first in 4 years. The CPP says the suspension would take place from 12:01 midnight of December 25 to 11:59 p.m. of December 26. The group added the 2-day ceasefire aims to allow NPA units to conduct assemblies or gatherings to celebrate the party's 55th anniversary, which falls on the 26th, which is tomorrow. But for their part, the armed forces affirmed its commitment to carry out military operations against the forces of communist groups. AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Colonel Cedrick Juan says troops were ordered to remain vigilant for surprise attacks despite the CPP's announcement. He adds that the AFP sees the 2-day ceasefire declaration as a, and we quote, empty statement. The PNP had also earlier said that it is not inclined to have a ceasefire with the communist rebels.
And while the world joyfully celebrated Christmas, blood was shed in Gaza due to a recent airstrike by Israel. No fewer than 70 civilians lost their lives in that attack. The strikes began hours before midnight, persisted into Christmas Day. Residents and Palestinian media said Israel stepped up air and ground shelling against Al-Bureij in central Gaza. The Israeli army said it was reviewing the report of a Maghazi incident and was committed to minimizing harm to civilians. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu admits that the war comes with heavy costs. He states that they are doing everything to protect their soldiers, adding that they have no plans to cease their offensive until the full release of captives and the threat from Hamas has been eliminated.
אזרחי ישראל, אנחנו מעמיקים את המלחמה ברצועת עזה. אנחנו נמשיך להילחם עד לניצחון המוחלט על החמאס. זאת הדרך היחידה להשיב את חטופינו, לחסל את החמאס ולהבטיח שעזה לא תהיה יותר איום על ישראל. למלחמה יש מחיר. מחיר כבד מאוד בחיי לוחמינו הגיבורים. ואנחנו עושים הכל כדי לשמור על חיי לוחמינו. אבל דבר אחד לא נעשה. לא נעצור עד שנשיג את הניצחון.
And over in Bethlehem, where Jesus is believed to have been born, clergy canceled traditional Christmas celebrations for the first time in recent memory. Festivities are also sparse this year as church leaders chose solidarity with Gazans over festive celebrations. Pope Francis, meanwhile, believes the message of peace of Jesus is being drowned out by the futile logic of war. During the 11th Christmas of his pontificate, Francis said a solemn Christmas Eve Mass in St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. In his homily, the Pope said the real message of Christmas is peace and love, urging people not to be obsessed with worldly success and consumerism.
Il nostro cuore stasera è a Betlemme, dove ancora il principe della pace viene refutato dalla logica perdente della guerra, con il ruggire delle armi che anche oggi gli impedisce di trovare alloggio nel mondo. Fratelli e sorelle, stanotte l'amore cambia la storia. Fa che crediamo, oh Signore, nel potere del tuo amore, così diverso dal potere del mondo.
The health department records 16 fireworks-related injuries during Christmas Eve and Christmas Day celebrations. This brings the total number of fireworks-related injuries this holiday season to 28. Metro Manila accounted for 31% of the injuries, where 94% of the incidents occurred at the victims' homes or on the streets. The health department has urged local government and authorities to stop the sale of illegal fireworks in their localities. Parents are also advised to watch over their children and use noise-making alternatives in the coming New Year's celebrations.
Balitang COVID naman, and also from the health department, the new COVID-19 Omicron subvariant JN.1 is already here in the Philippines, and 18 cases of this had already been recorded nationwide. The agency notes, though, that all 18 patients have already recovered. The Department of Health says there is no evidence that the new subvariant causes increased severity of COVID-19. They add that there is also no proof that it spreads faster. JN.1 had earlier been declared a variant of interest by the World Health Organization. Now, circling back to fireworks-related injuries, hospitals are now preparing to accommodate possibly more patients as the new year draws near. Reporting to us from the Jose Rizal Reyes Memorial Medical Center over in Manila, we have with us Jenny Dongon. Jenny, ilan ang pasyenteng naputukan dyan?
Danny, at least 4 people were injured due to fireworks since yesterday until this morning that were rushed here at Jose Reyes Memorial Medical Center. That's compared to 0 fireworks-related injuries in the facility same day as last year. The hospital has already prepared tools to cut bones and medical equipment to treat wounds caused by fireworks in the run-up to the New Year festivities. They also showed us a model of a hand pierced by barbed wire and with lost fingers, as a warning of what would happen should one get injured by fireworks-related blast. That's why they're repeating their call to avoid using fireworks on New Year's Eve, especially those that are illegal. One orthopedic surgeon even showed us how a victim undergoes operation.
Ang kamay po ng pasyente, ilalapag po dito habang nasa operating room. Tapos para mas madali po namin maoperahan yung kamay ng pasyente. Para po nakalatag yung kamay ng pasyente. Then ito po yung medical grade po na drill na ginagamit po namin para po magpasok ng mga alambre katulad po nito. Kung gusto po namin na yung buto ng pasyente, ibabalik po, ipagdudugtong po ulit. Gagamitan po namin ng mga alambre.
If the finger can no longer be saved, this bone cutter will be used on the patient. Since yesterday, 4 individuals in the facility have undergone this procedure. One is a 49-year-old woman and 3 minors. Aside from fireworks-related injuries, healthcare workers are also looking after victims of drunk driving.
We have received multiple motor vehicular accidents ngayong Christmas season. Madami din nga dahil lasing yung mga driver or unfortunately yung iba na dadamay lang dahil nga sa reckless driving. Uso din ngayon high blood, hypertensive emergencies, and then sa pediatrics naman medyo madami ang may ubo at sipon.
Doctors also shared with us the recommended first aid for fireworks-related injuries. If the victim is at home, they're advised to clean their wounds thoroughly with clean water. Danny, they say that the victim should be then rushed to the hospital to make sure that no chemicals from the fireworks would remain in the wounds that may cause infection. Danny.
Thank you so much for that report, Jenny Dongon, urging the public, of course, to be careful with the paputok. Time now for a quick break, and right after that, Filipinos have been lining up in cinemas across the country to watch the entries in this year's Metro Manila Film Festival. We will be speaking with actor Cedrick Juan about his starring role in GOMBURZA when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News. And you're back watching the big story here on One News.
Over in Davao City, a traditional gift-giving event sponsored by the Duterte family welcomed residents this Christmas Day. Let's get more details from Bril Montalvo. Bril.
Davaoenos woke up early to line up along Central Park Bangkal for the gift-giving celebration of the Duterte family. This is a tradition in the city every Christmas. And the lines, well, long is an understatement.
nakasanayan na namin na pumila dito tuwing Pasko kasi yun na yung nasanay na. Kasi last year nandito rin ako, so parang nasanay na kami na pumila dito para makahingi ng pamasko kay Pangulong kay Mayor Baste. So dati kay Mayor Inday pa.
If you're curious what kind of gifts are being given away, well, there's food packs with canned goods and rice. There's gift certificate and cash too. They also hold a free concert. The Davao City PNP said over 40,000 Davaoenos participated in this year's gift giving. Even Vice President Sara Duterte was present in the event and was game to let loose a little. When asked about her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, VP Sara said they haven't had a chance to meet yet.
Hindi pa kami nagkasama ni President Duterte, but I'm sure in the coming days dahil Kapaskuhan ay magkakasama at magkikita kami.
In a separate video message, VP Sara also thanked frontliners serving this Christmas.
Ang inyong walang pag-iimbot na pangako at kahandaang magsakripisyo para sa Diyos, ating bansa, at inyong mga pamilya ay nagsisilbing tanglaw ng pag-asa at katatagan. Kayo ay sumisimbolo ng katapangan at pagkakawang-gawa habang pinoprotektahan ninyo ang ating bansa.
Hindi lang gift-giving season ngayon, it is also time to hit the cinemas for the annual Metro Manila Film Festival. We've got 10 official entries to this year's MMFF. These are now available in theaters. The film festival has been a Christmas tradition for Pinoys and an avenue to showcase and promote original Filipino movies. And one of this year's entries is the historical film GOMBURZA that has been making waves for its depiction of the martyr priest Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora in 1872. It has gotten approval from historians and even national artist for film Ricky Lee, who called the film, quote, magnificent. GOMBURZA director Pepe Diokno shared their exchange on X, wherein Lee said, I have never felt more Filipino as I left the theater. And joining us to talk about that movie, GOMBURZA, we have with us Cedrick Juan, who plays, of course, Father Jose Burgas. Congratulations, first of all, for the warm reception of GOMBURZA, Cedrick. And, you know, we have to say, hindi pa namin napapanood ni Ed dito. So
But
please, no spoilers, because we're very, very much looking forward to that. But first of all, before we go to the movie, give us an idea of how hard it was to win this role and what it took for you to get to this point.
Unang at maligayang Pasko po sa inyo. At ito po yung role po ni Padre Jose Burgos, hindi po siya naging madali. Dahil nung una po talaga, nung nakuha ko, hindi naman siya parang ibinigay sa akin. Nag-audition talaga ako and dapat may miss ko pa yung audition. And initially, hindi pa si Padre Jose Burgos talaga yung role na pinapa-audition sa akin. It was La Madrid first. Then I just manifested and I prayed that somehow the production would allow me to read it and to audition for it. Then siguro, nang kikinig yung universe, nang kikinig si Lord, ayun, pinayagan nila ako mag-audition. Then from the first auditions via Zoom, hindi pa na-record ng maayos ng talent coordinator namin. So, inulit namin siya, pero I think that was a blessing in disguise kasi mas naging relax ako pakiramdam ko and mas gumamit pa ako ng mga natutunan ko sa theater ng mga paggamit ng props. So, I had to eat suman na parang yun yung eksena kasi with Piola and Tito Dante. But it's not a spoiler naman. So, ayun. Tapos after that, talagang rigorous na research and also pag-aaral ng Spanish and ng Latin lines. Ayun.
I'd imagine, ang hirap mag-audition sa Zoom.
Oo nga. Bakit Zoom pa rin yung audition? Oo. Kasi this was 2022 ba? Yung audition film, no? Oo.
Yeah, that was December 2022. And I think siguro medyo nandiyan pa yung takot natin sa COVID during that time. Hindi pa ganun ka-open publicly. Kaya siguro Zoom and it's easier din kasi syempre you can just send it na online din. So, ayun. Wow. Kaya, and I think initially kasi na-audition siya. So, for sure maraming pinag-send din na mga actors to audition. Ayun.
Yeah. But I'd imagine, Father Burgos is possibly the biggest role dun sa GOMBURZA. Kasi, I mean, the guy has what? 3 undergraduate degrees with honors, 2 master's degrees, 2 doctorate degrees. Parang wala siyang oras.
And it's centered on this, it's centered on him, diba? There are 3, pero the film, this specific film centers on him. Why is that? Meron bang reason for that? And in your research, meron bang key reason kung bakit siya ba yung central part?
I think the key reason was after Padre Pedro Pelaez, played by Mr. Piolo Pascual, it was Padre Jose Burgos who continued and championed the secularization of church. Kaya feeling ko sa kanya na center yung pelikula ng GOMBURZA dahil after nun, together with Padre Gomez, nakasama ni Padre Jose, ni Padre Pelaez sa sa secularization church, it was Jose Burgos na who continued it. Ayun.
And Father Burgos fought especially for the rights of Filipino priests, even though his father was Spanish.
Talaga?
Di ba? Tama, di ba? His
So
father
by
was
blood, Spanish siya?
Well, half Spanish siya.
Half
The mother
Spanish,
was,
the mother was
Filipina.
Filipina.
But he was particular in fighting for the rights of to recognize Filipino clergy, hindi lang yung mga Spanish clergy. Kasi may delineation dati. Pinoy ka o Kastila ka.
There was a discrimination pa nga on local priests, di ba? Cedrick, is there any connection that you have with this role? Kasi usually, di ba, actors, they can relate with the character that they're playing. Ito parang ang layo, di ba? How do you have any connection in particular with playing this role, with the church, with the history that comes with this film?
I think personally, yung innate na love ko for history. Kasi nung student ako, I can still remember how I love reading and watching historical films and also reading books. Hindi ko alam, fascinated ako sa kanila. And I love watching like mga medieval na mga movies and film. Tapos, yung feeling ko yung personal relation ko somehow na nakaka-relate ako kay Padre Jose Burgos ay yung perseverance niya na huwag tumigil matuto at makatulong sa smallest way possible na kaya niya maitulong na doon ko nakita yung similarities niya during yung student pa lang siya na ginagawa niya lahat, binibigay niya lahat ng kaya niya para matulungan niya si Padre Pedro Pelaez. Ayun, so it's really about yung pagiging mentor and mentee na meron akong mga mentors na sila yung mga naisip ko kung paano ako nakikinig sa kanila and at the same time kung paano ko tinatry maka-influence sa mga mas bata pa sa akin. And feeling ko yung relation din niya na yung relevance niya sa panahon ngayon na may mga nakakapag-inspire sa atin, merong mga taong ini-inspire natin at the same time merong mga events sa buhay natin na minsan larger than life na wala tayong control as a person or as a human but still we're still trying to fight for what is right. Yun kasi parang core din ng pinaglalaban ni Padre Jose Burgos at ng GOMBURZA.
And I suppose moving forward, the relationship between Father Burgos and Pasiano Rizal, the elder brother of Jose Rizal, which affected Jose Rizal's thinking.
Okay. Yeah, without this nga, walang Rizal, diba?
Diba? So malaking impact ni Jose Burgos dun sa the person who would eventually be our national hero.
Totoo po yan. Talagang based din po siya sa historical facts na parang na-witness din ni Jose Rizal kung paano nagarote yung 3 paring martir. At nasabi rin niya na kung hindi niya siguro ito na-witness, hindi siguro nag-alab din ang puso niya para ipaglaban ng mga Pilipino during that time. At sila rin ang inspiration kung bakit ginawa niyang El Filibusterismo.
Did you have to learn Latin? Yung tipong in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti in secula seculorum, mga ganun.
Yeah, may mga ganyan po. Lalo na, pero ang pinaka-specific po na ginamit ko ang Latin dahil po during Spanish era, pag sa eskwelahan po, ang ginagamit nila ay Latin na lingwahe. Pero pag sa class, forcefully na pinapagamit sa kanila, even sa mga trabaho nila ay Espanyol. So, yung mga eksena namin sa classroom with Pasiano and Buen Camino, played by Elijah Canlas and Tommy Alendrino, Latin talaga yung mga ginagamit ko. Pero dahil gusto ko silang mas maging liberal, somehow mapapanood niyo kung paano ko in-inspire yung mga estudyante na ipaglaban ko ano yung tama at yung equality para sa bansa.
Curious lang ako, no, kasi hindi ko pa napapanood. Because of course we understand the historical significance of this film, but in fact it's produced by GESCOM, di ba? So GES with ano, and then on the one hand parang may critique on the Catholic Church din siya because of the situation with the friars and the discrimination of the Filipino priests. Para siyang against nga eh. Without spoiling the film, paano to na-reconcile? Religious film ba siya? Is it a critique on the Catholic Church? Or tinanggal ba lahat ng religious aspects na yon, focus on more of the historical part? I'm very curious kasi GESCOM yung producer eh.
I think hindi naman siya lumayo sa aspeto ng kung paano nakatulong yung religion natin sa nation building. Kasi alam natin na ang gift ng Spain sa atin ay yung religion, pero hindi naman siya somehow kinritik yung religion. Pero mas nilinaw lang yung politics din na nangyayari sa loob ng church. Na yun nga eh, kasi during that time, merong division sa gitna ng mga secular priests, yun ang GOMBURZA, at ng mga friars. Kasi nagsimula din yung ganitong parang awakening and enlightenment sa mga secular priests. Yung nakalaya ang Mexico sa Spain. At alam natin na ang Mexico ay isa sa pinakamalaking colony nila. Then, doon na-inspire si Padre Pedro Pelaez para ipaglaban yung kung ano yung nasa order ng mga diocese na under ng mga secular priests. Dahil nga, ang mga secular priests, sila yung mga mas nakakilala sa mga parish and church goers. So, kaya pa somehow, parang nasa bad light yung mga friars kasi inaangkin nila yung mga diocese at mga lupa sa mga Pilipino during that time. And meron din akong parang na-research na somehow kasi parang may belief kasi before na if ever na Pilipino ka at mamamatay ka na, isang malaking contribution sa Diyos na partly ng lupa mo ay ibigay mo sa simbahan. So may mga exercises na medyo na-overuse, na-overpower ng mga friars during that time. Pero dito rin sa pelikula na to, makikita din na parang hindi naman 100% nasa bad light ang mga friars. Ayun.
I think that's a very good point. It's a film not about the church. It's a film about the people in the church. There's a difference.
The politics inside.
That's going on.
And even the government po.
But would you say it's a film that the youth would need to see?
Definitely po. Pero, ito po yung sobrang magandang usapin to eh. Para po sa lahat, para lang to sa mga kabataan. Pero naniniwala po ako kasi even during studying the script and also while doing the film, marami po kaming nalalaman din na hindi namin alam na sa textbook kasi parang isang chapter lang ang GOMBURZA na kilala natin sila na nagarote, ganun lang, na hindi natin alam kung ano yung totoong pinaglaban nila, bakit sila nagarote, ano yung naging accusation sa kanila, bakit sila nagarote. At isang maganda rin na malaman nating lahat na yung pagka-Filipino natin, wala siya bago mamatay ang GOMBURZA. Hindi natin tinatawag na Filipino ang bawat isa. Dahil consistent tayo ng mga different barangays during that time. And ano tayo talagang divided tayo. Tagalog, Bicolano, Ilocano, Kapampangan, ganun po So, kaya nagkamapak ko at naisip din namin sa production team na parang hindi lang to para sa mga estudyante. Hindi lang siya about dahil merong maling abbreviation yung nagawa ang mga newer generation na instead of GOMBURZA ay nagkamit nila yung Madjoha. Pero ito ay yung parang ma-revisit natin yung history natin. And yung matuto tayo sa history natin, lahat tayo mga Pilipino, at hindi lang to para sa mga kabataan dahil maraming mga matatandang generation na rin na hindi nakakilala sa kanila. At feeling ko yung integrity kasi na an inspiration na binigay sa atin ng mga national heroes natin. Somehow, sadly, nakakalimutan natin mga Pilipino at sana itong pelikula na ito yung magpaalala muli sa atin.
Cedric, no, we're very excited to watch this film. So kindly, I know that nag-premiere siya kahapon, tama ba? And so please tell our moviegoers here, where can we watch this? Hanggang kailan po ito showing? And yeah, just convince our viewers tonight to support the film. And of course, as you mentioned, no, you come out of the film feeling more Filipino.
Yes. Iniimbitahan ko po kayo lahat na panoorin ang Metro Manila Film Festival 2023. Ngayong araw na po ang simula at sana unahin niyo po ang GOMBURZA. Bakit? Dahil dito po nagsimula ang identity natin bilang Filipino. Mas lalo pong mararamdaman ninyo at masasabi niyo na proud kayo bilang isang Pilipino pag nalaman niyo po kung paano nagsimula ang salitang Pilipino. Sa mga sinihan po, nasa Facebook page and Instagram page po ng GOMBURZA ang mga list of cinemas na mapapanood ninyo. Sa ngayon po, lumalaban po tayo sa Metro Manila sa mga sinihan at meron pong nadagdag just today. Meron po sa Iloilo at may nadagdag din sa Pasig. Pero sadly, marami pong mga probinsya ang wala po na GOMBURZA. Pero marami po ang nag-request. Kaya sana po patuloy po ninyong ipanawagan sa mga distributors sa cinema sa mga probinsya na magkaroon ng GOMBURZA. Ayun po, sana po ay suportahan niyo ang pelikulang Pilipino at ako po si Cedrick Juan, ang gumaganap bilang Padre Jose Burgos. Maligayang Pasko po sa inyo lahat.
Once again, congratulations and looking forward to that, no? So that was, of course, Cedrick Juan of GOMBURZA. Don't forget to catch that movie and now on cinemas.
Thank you.
And pausing for a last break, but up next, looking for a Yuletide destination to go to? Head on over to Antipolo, Rizal. That and more when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
You're still watching the big story here in One News. Naghanap po ba kayo ng mapupuntahan ngayong Pasko? Why not try this museum in Antipolo? Mobile journalist Evan Tarinque tells us more.
Since we were kids, it's been a general notion that Santa Claus lives at the North Pole. But did you know that he also has a house in Antipolo? A variety of Santa Claus display can be seen here at Casa Santa in Antipolo, Rizal. Each room has its own theme. There is a room with a Winter Wonderland theme, filled with miniature dioramas that will transport you to the North Pole. There's also the Santa Village, a favorite amongst visiting children.
The Santa Village and the Santa Playroom because there's so much stuffed toys I enjoyed.
The kids say it's fun to see different versions of Santa Claus. And it's not just children who enjoy the display.
Maganda kasi nagbabalik ang aking kabataan. Naalala ko, noong kasing panahon nung ako'y bata, walang ganyan eh. Kaya ngayon, isip bata ako ngayon.
But aside from endless Santas, there is also a room for everyone's favorite Christmas thief, the Grinch. Next to his room is one of the most important parts of the Santa house, which is the workshop. Here, you'll see Santa's elves working double time to wrap gifts to be given away this Christmas. Casa Santa is open tomorrow, Tuesday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Also, be ready with 250 pesos per person for those who want to visit here. This Christmas is the perfect time to relax and be with the whole family. So make the most out of it. Mobile journalist Evan Tarinque, a Merry Christmas to everyone. We are One News.
I'm wondering what that looks like pagmahal na araw. Yung museum na yun.
Well, now is the best time to visit the museum is the
Before Holy
key
Week.
point of that. Now, before we go, time for our big picture for tonight. It is Metro Pacific Investment Corporation's chairman, president, and our boss, CEO, Marivi Pangilinan, who was honored with the Pro Excelsia et Pontifice.
Ecclesia et Pontifice. That's
There you go.
for the
Ecclesia et
church and for the pontificate.
He was one of 5 Filipinos recommended by Caritas Manila for that award. And for those wondering, the Pro Ecclesia et Pontifice is an acknowledgement of one's service to the Church and the Papal Office. It is also the highest medal that the laity and the religious can receive from the Pope himself and the Catholic Church. And MVP is, of course, a known supporter of Caritas Manila. He has undertaken philanthropic endeavors for humanitarian causes. So congratulations to Boss MVP for that honor. And that is, of course, the show for Christmas Day!
Tapos na ang countdown. So
wala nang countdown.
365 days na lang at Pasko na ulit.
Pasko na. And we are still One News, all sides, all the time.
Merry Christmas.
Maligayang
Thank you.
Pasko.
Good night.